Hey guys, it's Rocola here. Monster Hunter Now is the mobile AR game in the beloved Monster Hunter game series. After being in development since 2019, it has finally been released recently on September 14th. Monster Hunter Now is developed by Niantic and Capcom. Niantic is well known as the AR company that created Pokemon Go, while Capcom is the legendary game development company responsible for producing iconic series such as Devil May Cry, Street Fighter, Resident Evil, and of course Monster Hunter. Both companies collaborated for the first time to bring Monster Hunter into the mobile game space, and now that the game is finally out, is this the second coming of Pokemon Go? I have played Monster Hunter Now for nearly 2 weeks now, and while there are many aspects that are similar to Pokemon Go, Monster Hunter Now has its own unique identity and really stood out as a true Monster Hunter game. At first glance, Monster Hunter Now definitely feels familiar to Pokemon Go. The map looks the same because both games are using a gameplay map that's based on real-life location data. But it is also different because in Monster Hunter Now they have added an element of rotating terrains. Areas of the map can be a forest, or a desert, or a swamp. These different landscapes will change several times a day and they determine the kind of monsters that you will encounter in the game. Like Pokemon Go, your access to everything on the map is limited to a small radius. Unlike Pokemon Go, however, in Monster Hunter Now there are items that allow you to increase the radius. Of course, these items are premium. You are given some for free in the beginning, but you will need to spend money to buy them later on. In Monster Hunter Now, you don't catch the monsters, you fight them. You are hunting down the monsters, and there are two main categories of monsters in this game, small and large monsters. Small monsters are there for you to collect common materials. Most don't attack you and can be killed with a few swipes. Another purpose of these small monsters is to allow you to build up your special attack gauge, and that's about all there is to them. Large monsters are the main focus of this game. Your primary purpose is to kill them, and they're a lot harder to fight against. Like the main game series, you need to learn their attacking patterns so that you can avoid getting hit and take them down by exploiting their weakness points. You need to be strategic, blindly tapping away to attack, and you will get knocked down very quickly. One of the best things about Monster Hunter Now is that the map conveniently shows you where the large monsters are, so you don't have to explore blindly. This is infinitely better than a nearby tab that shows you a maximum of 9 common Pokemons that are available in nearby Pokestops. In Monster Hunter Now, the points of interest are in the same locations as the Pokestops in Pokemon Go. But instead of spinning the disc to get the Pokeballs and berries, you are tapping to get raw materials to use for crafting equipment or weapons. You can also get some raw materials randomly on the map outside of the points of interest. And that's about all the similarities to Pokemon Go. Beyond that, everything else is Monster Hunter. In my opinion, Monster Hunter Now is very well designed. It is the perfect mobile AR game for Monster Hunter. You explore different areas, you find formidable monsters to hunt, and you get the materials to forge better equipment and weapons. The core aspects of the game are simply very faithful to the mainline Monster Hunter game, and that's a huge positive. The combat mechanic is great. It is smooth and satisfying when you take down a large monster. You have plenty of weapons to choose from, and depending on the weapon type, the way you fight will also be different. Monster Hunter Now doesn't have all the weapon types yet at this point, but there are plenty of options. Another important aspect that Monster Hunter Now has is the quests. There are two types of quests, the mainline story quest and the optional daily quest. The story quest line currently has 13 chapters. Each chapter unlocks your ability to fight higher level monsters. I think this is a smart design because it acts as a checkpoint to make sure that you are ready before your map is filled with super tough monsters that you are not able to defeat. And also to make sure that for higher level players, they are not bored having to deal with low level monsters. After you have completed all 13 chapters, you will just be repeating them again, but this time with higher difficulty monsters to deal with. This aspect is very Monster Hunter rich because Monster Hunter is all about grinding and fighting monsters. The story isn't really the focus. The daily quests are important because they give you the precious in-game currency known as Zenny. You can get a maximum of 3000 Zenny by completing the 3 daily quests. And that's actually not a lot. As you progress further into the game, a single weapon or equipment upgrade can easily cost more than 1000 zenny. You might get the false impression in the beginning, since you will find yourself in a situation where you have more zenny than materials. But soon the upgrading cost will quickly dry your wallet. Zenny runs out in an instant, so be sure to spend them wisely. Keep this in mind, forge only those that you need. Other than the daily quest, the only way for you to get zenny is by killing large monsters. You get 10 zenny for each star of the monster that you kill, so by defeating a 5-star monster you only get 50 zenny. It's a set amount and it is of course by design so that you can spend real money to buy them. There is actually another way for you to gain zenny, and that is by referrals. For each successful referral you will get 300 zenny, 5 potions and 3 paintballs. It is a decent reward, so if you have friends that might be interested to play, then you should definitely use the referral program to get these extra goodies. Speaking of potions and paintballs, these are two of the few consumable items in the game. You can use potions to heal your health. You use paintballs to save a large monster for hunting later on. So for example, you found a 5-star Puki but you are low on HP. You can use paintball to save and fight it later when you are fully healed. You have 2 days to fight the monster that you saved before it expired. Important thing to note here is that if you fail to defeat it once, then it will escape. Like in the mainline Monster Hunter game, you have a companion called a Palico. Palico in Monster Hunter now doesn't help you fight, at least for now. It is mostly to help you gather resources. If you switch on the Adventure Sync, the same feature as Pokemon Go where you let the game to keep track of your location all the time, then each day the Palico will have a maximum of 3 paintballs to use. Basically trading away your location data for potentially getting 3 safe monsters. Unlike Pokemon Go, there's no egg hatching and no weekly Adventure Sync reward in this game, so your walking distance really means nothing. Potion is currently the most important item in this game because you need health in order to fight monsters. You cannot fight a large monster if your health is below 30%, so if you get hit often, then you either have to pay up or you cannot continue to play. The game does recover your health over time, however. It heals up to 100% in 1 hour, so if you run out of potions, then you can choose to wait. The fact that there is no way to craft a potion for free is definitely annoying though. Sure, the game gives 5 free potions daily, but if you plan to hunt a lot of large monsters in a single session, then I'm not sure if that's enough. You pretty much have to play perfect all the time to maintain your health. I actually really like the fact that this game encourages you to be better skilled instead of just mindlessly tapping. The better you are at understanding the monsters, the better you will be at dodging and attacking. The better hunter you are, the less likely you will need to heal up. Having said that, in order to become better, you need to play more, and the healing item limitation is making that process harder than it needs to be. Another thing about this game that is truly Monster Hunter is the grind. Monster Hunter is really about fighting monsters, getting better materials, crafting and forging better equipment, rinse and repeat. There is no guarantee that beating a 5-star Diablos is going to give you rarity 4 materials. In fact, you are very likely to get 4 rarity 1 materials and be happy with it. This aspect is quite divisive among players, but longtime Monster Hunter fans will recognize it as just how the game is. Think of it like Dark Souls games where they are hard by design. Monster Hunter is all about grinding. Some may like it, some may not. From my experience playing the game so far, the part that I enjoy the most is definitely group hunting. You can hunt with up to 3 other players, so a maximum group of 4. It is a lot easier to take down monsters and your rewards won't be affected in any way. This is definitely the best way to extend your playtime since you are also less likely to get hit with the monster not constantly attacking you. And as any other mobile games, Monster Hunter now also has regular events where certain monsters will be featured more often or rare monsters making special appearances. So what do I think about the game? I like many aspects of the game. The core gameplay of hunting the monster is fantastic. Hitting the weakness points, taking down those giant beasts is very satisfying. I really like the map showing where the large monsters are. It makes me want to go out and hunt them as compared to Pokemon Go where I have zero interest in going to any nearby Pokestops to catch EVs or Lillipups. In fact, I hardly ever use the nearby tab because it's so pointless. In the mainline Monster Hunter series, you actually have to track down the large monsters. They don't just show up on the map and they always run away. I think they made the right decision to do away with this and keep the hunting process a lot simpler for Monster Hunter now. I definitely feel that there should be a way for players to craft potions. It is too restrictive right now and it sucks to have to cut your hunting trip short because you run out of potions. To me, this is a curious strategy by Niantic and Capcom. By making potions so restrictive, you are essentially making the game less accessible. I would have thought that they would want to encourage people to play more because the more people play, the more likely they are going to spend. They would want to spend on gems to double the materials or even the wonder orbs to increase the range of the radius circle, not to mention item box expansion because the more you play, the more materials that you're gonna get. So I don't know, maybe they think this is a good balance, or maybe they really are just targeting the hardcore Monster Hunter fans. Personally, I'm not a hardcore Monster Hunter fan, so I'll just enjoy the game as is, and if I run out of potions, then so be it. I guess that's the other thing about Monster Hunter now, which is that you don't have to FOMO in this game. There are no time limited shiny monsters to collect. You're not missing out on anything if you don't play it for a day or a period of time. From my perspective, I like that I can be casual about it and I play only because I feel like it. Not because if I don't, then it breaks my 7-day streak of spinning a Pokestop. For players who already play AR games such as Pokemon Go, I'm not sure how they are going to play both games at the same time if they are picking up Monster Hunter now. Maybe some of you can manage handling multiple AR games at the same time, but I definitely can't. It is way too much for me and too time consuming. In fact, I have totally ignored Pokemon Go ever since I pick up Monster Hunter now, and maybe that's a good thing. I definitely enjoy Monster Hunter now a lot more than Pokemon Go. Having said that, I'm not sure if I will be playing the game for very long for the same reason why I didn't play Monster Hunter World beyond completing the main storyline. And the reason for that is simply because I don't see the point of grinding. I mean, I don't mind grinding, but if the end result is simply to get materials for better equipment and weapons just to fight the same monsters on higher difficulty, then I can spend the time better elsewhere. But that's just me. Alright, to wrap this up, I would say if you are a Monster Hunter fan, then I strongly recommend that you pick up the game. It is fantastic. If you are not a Monster Hunter fan, just know that grinding is the keyword to this game. You probably should just try it for fun and play if you like it. It is a very good game. So those are my thoughts. What about you? Have you played the game? If you have, what do you think about it so far? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, thanks for watching. Have fun and have a nice day.